when I was in high school, I read this book about chaos theory that was this sort of trendy book at the time, trying to see patterns in the chaos of weather systems. If you're in a weather system and you can imagine sort of parallel worlds where there's one weather system where the butterfly flaps its wings in this one place and the other where it doesn't, and just that little perturbation in the system can lead to bigger and bigger changes, and all of a sudden this one parallel world ends up in a very, very different place. You have a hurricane over here, and in this other parallel world, it's sunny. And so one of the projects that we've been thinking about attacking in the next few years is taking this analysis that he did in the 1960s with weather data and trying to apply it to some of the data that we have today with outbreaks.
Nick research was really interesting to me before I decided to apply to UMass, because Nick was known for his collaboration with public health agencies. I wanted to have a chance to work with policymakers to make sure that my work had the potential to have real-world impact.
For my research, we try to predict the course of outbreaks. And this started when we were trying to predict flu season outbreaks in hospitals. And then we were working with the Ministry of Public Health in Thailand, trying to predict dengue fever outbreaks. And then more recently, we've been working with the US CDC, initially trying to predict influenza, but then COVID hit and we pivoted and have worked a lot with CDC trying to create short-term forecasts to predict the course of where COVID is headed over the next few weeks. There's a lot of different kinds of work that we do in my research group. So some of it is more methodological in nature, where we're trying to create or develop and test out new models. The second area of the work is really trying to find places where we can take these methods that we've developed or other people have developed and apply them to real-world data sets.
I've been recently working with Professor Reich, sitting in on his lab meetings. And in the lab meetings, he's had some of the other graduate students also working with him talk about their research into the forecasting models for COVID data, and how they evaluate those models and how they quantify the success of those models. And that's been really cool because I haven't had any experience with that yet. And so getting kind of this accelerated look at what they're actually going to be doing and what people are actually working on here has been really interesting, and that's kind of the direction I want to go in with my own research.
And then you have another data set that says, here's the singer, John, Paul, and Keith. Whether they're undergrad students or graduate students, is that you so clearly over the course of a year or more, or in the case of some PhD students, 5 years of working with these students, you see so much growth. One of the hardest things about this job is watching them go when they're done, and it's like part of the job, right? And on the one hand, it's so gratifying to see them being successful in that way, and on the other part, it's so sad because you've worked so closely with them and gotten to be friends with them over that time. Biostatistics as a field has helped me find that niche of you're working collaboratively with other people who are trying to make the world a better place, and you're putting sort of math and data science skills to work in a way that feels important.